Good evening, Barb Rudolph, 1675 Mount Vernon Street. Let me give this to Ms. Jackson to hand out, please. Last night, Robert Bob made some, what I thought were some gratuitous comments about citizens who would dare to critique the city and the city government. But one of his remarks was that to beware of people coming out with emotional information rather than factual. So in the interest of ensuring that you see what I'm presenting as factual, that's why I've given you this handout. Now, it was my opinion to call Robert Bob a parasite, but it's factual to call Robert Bob untruthful, and that's what these examples show. It also relates to the forensic audit, which we heard last night. Citizens didn't have an opportunity to comment on it to you. I wish we had, but I do know from a lot of things that I hear out and about, and I think you all do as well, that people have a lot of questions about things that were omitted from the forensic audit and why. This particular analysis doesn't address all of that, but I did look at one thing, which was as recently as this past July, Robert Bob was promising that you'll see this on the second page under C, that Robert Bob was promising that the scope of the audit included special funds, for example, and special funds. Part of special funds is state and federal grants. Citizens have had a lot of questions about the FEMA grant, as an example. So by seeing this presentation in July, we're led to believe that the auditors were looking at that. Well, the auditors never were looking at that because they were working to a different scope, which had been published in the RFP as a clarification back in March of this year. And if you look at the information I've given you, the forensic audit update is a slide from your website. The other three items, A, B, and D, were all part of the forensic audit, and I just copied them into this. So Robert Bob was misleading both the council and the citizens that the scope of the audit was far greater than it actually was. So we came into it. He managed expectations in a way that created probably more unhappiness with the outcome than would have been necessary. And I'm just bringing this up because it's been a pattern, and he's very defensive about being asked questions, but if he were here, I would hand this to him and say, please explain how this scope managed to go from a January RFP, which was broader, to a clarification, which was narrower, to then him coming back in recently and using the broader definition, when in reality, the PB Mayor's group was working to the narrower definition. I talked to the gentleman last night after they presented, and they agreed that that was what they had to work with, and they hadn't been given any other information about the city. So thank you for considering that.
Next speaker, Willie Noyes.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, and residents of Petersburg. My name is Willie Noyes, 1508 Circle Drive. And tonight, I just want everybody in here to think about standards and how they vary from place to place, and sane and insane people. I talk to a lot of insane people. And first of all, I'd like to give a shout out to the Petersburg Police Department for enacting some preventive maintenance. I always speak about preventive maintenance and corrective maintenance. And I'd like to see more preventive maintenance because I'm tired of this corrective stuff. There's a lot of waste going on. But anyway, I was happy to see a prayer tonight. And it wasn't silent. So I think God said he was glad to hear a boisterous prayer. so he could really hear. And it's too many of us still going to the bank, getting a withdrawal, a prayer, and not depositing anything. And there's one thing I'd like to see Petersburg do, and until we do it, we're not going to prosper, and that is to pray. And those that are praying, please pray for those that don't. I love Petersburg, and I'm really confused because when I think you're doing a great job, I can see so many things that need to be done. And when certain people speak up and say things that is adding, I think that's wonderful. And I'd like to congratulate all of you for the job that you're doing, even if some people don't think much of it. But we are all in this. And you got a whole audience of people that are looking at you. And you are looking back at them. But we are all in this thing. And until we understand that and start to loving one another, we're not going to get anything out of this thing. And from the top, it's so much corruption and everything up there. We got to start down here and get ourselves together before we can go asking and telling other people. The stronger we are, the better voices we're going to have to carry. And let's follow suit, man. Join in with Richmond, Hopewell, Dinwoody, all of them. They got nice things to say, and what they be doing, we need to follow up on them and show them that we appreciate it and understand where they're coming from. I thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker,